Welcome everyone. This is Mike for Lake Effect Games. We are running the Table Football League Week 9 doubleheader on Al Wilson's Fast Drive Football. The first game of this doubleheader is the Roswell Destroyers and the Salt Lake Mustangs. The rematch from 2 weeks ago, this time in Salt Lake. And Week 7, Roswell beat Salt Lake 31-23. So if Salt Lake wants the doubleheader or wants the head-to-head tiebreaker, if it comes to that, they will need to beat Roswell by at least 9. Our second game is the 4-4 Cleveland Coyotes and the 7-1 Buffalo Outlaws. Oh, the Destroyers are 6-2. The Mustangs are 4-4. This is the first matchup between Cleveland and Buffalo this season. So, as normal, in between, halftime of the first game, we will go over the week scores, week 9 scores. In between, we will go over the standings and league leaders. And halftime of the second game, we will talk about the week 10 matchups. And unlike the last couple weeks, there will only be one one game to be voted on next week, because as much as I dislike to use the same team twice in a row for videos, we've got a rarity next week, as the 8-1 DC Majors will be taking on the either 8-1 or 7-2 Buffalo Outlaws for top of, or at least temporary top of the Eastern Division. So that will definitely be one of the two games next week. So let's get started. Salt Lake will get the ball first. All right, I don't like this setup, and I don't like... I gotta find a way to make that longer. All right, so Salt Lake ball first. All right, 43, so that is average field position for the Mustangs. And for first possession, 1-2-4. Season prior, no. Great field position, no. So that is a punt to start this game. The Destroyers are the heavy favorites. Oh, the Mustangs offense is semi-prolific, dynamic, solid, and semi-clumsy. The Destroyers defense is semi-staunch, punishing, meek, and semi-passive. If the Destroyers lose this game, they will actually be behind in the West, behind the Los Angeles Icons. All right, so 26, that is poor field position for Roswell to start. Destroyers offense is secure, efficient, and undisciplined. Mustangs defense is semi-meek. 4-4-5. Erratic offense? No. Disciplined defense? No. So that is going to be a field goal attempt for Osvaldo Hudson. Let me mark that time real quick. Needs a 53 or under. And he's got it. And he is 1 for 1 so far tonight. And the Destroyers take an early 3-0 lead. .24 average field position, as this is a kickoff and not a punt. .116. Prolific offense, yes. Running back bust through heavy traffic for the score. So that is a touchdown run for the Mustangs. And it's definitely a running back, so if it's Dansby, if it's marked as Dansby, I'm going to have to re-roll. And it's Kendrick Marlowe with the quick strike touchdown run. Extra point. Oh, that's not Marlowe. Sorry, that's Collins. I looked at the wrong sheet. I looked at the wrong card. Either way, 41 and under is good. 62 and under is actually good. So it is 7-3 Mustangs. .36, so average field position for the Destroyers. .124. Great field position, no, so a punt. It was the same thing as, it was the same roll as Salt Lake got for their first possession. .51, that is average field position for Salt Lake. For a regular punt, it's 62 to 65 is a great. .355. Prolific offense. Not this time. No pip. Inept defense. Not Roswell. So that is a coffin corner punt. After 3 ticks taken off the clock. And we've got about 3:45 left in the first quarter. And that is on coffin corner. I believe that's right. That's average, but yeah, that's average. For any other punt, that would have been great. .126. So we're going to mark that it's the second quarter. And that'll be 4 marks. And the score at the end of 1 is the Salt Lake Mustangs 7, the Roswell Destroyers 3. Reliable offense or meek defense? No, and the pip says no as well. Shaky offense or aggressive defense? Also neither. So that will be a punt to start off the second. Dansby's pass just, bouncing out of the hands of Jerron Hopper. 24, that is poor field position for the Mustangs. 1-3-4. Poor field position, yes. Runner tripped up short of the marker, so that will be another punt for Salt Lake. So Sandoval is going to punt. 35, that is average for the Destroyers. One, 1-2. A lot of ones so far. Punishing defense, no. Soft defense, no. So that is a regular punt. .52, that is once again average for Salt Lake. .145. Great field position, no. Inept defense, no. So it's going to be a field goal attempt for Scott Ray, who needs a 51 or under. And he doesn't get it. Ray is actually one of the lowest rated, well, one of the worst static kickers in the league this year. He's actually not the lowest numbered by a few, but there are some people with lower field goal possibility numbers that have plenty more than he does. So, yeah. So, average position for the Destroyers. 1-3-5, that is a fumble. So, he did not get very far with that one. Schaefer with the force, with the force fumble. And 51, that is Brunt with the recovery. I didn't roll the red one for where it's going. And that is great field position for Salt Lake. Another one. All right, 1-5-5. Secure offense. Not Salt Lake. Clumsy offense or active defense. Not clumsy because of the pip. So that is a punt. Excuse me, I need to swap out this red dye. Okay, so that is great field position for Roswell. Oop. I just don't like to get a lot of ones because trying to keep it all in my notebook. This is what my game sheet looks like. So that's how much room I've got. I got to go with the college rule next year. And I got to go with this part because that's all I've got if I run out of space here. So 2-4-6. Dull offense, no. Runner turns a corner and has nothing but daylight. That is a touchdown run for the Destroyers. All right. Runner is... It's Marlowe. He's going to get that touchdown run he was accidentally attributed to earlier. Extra point, 64 and under, is good. So score is now 10-7 Destroyers. And average field position for the Mustangs, who are now down by a field goal. And no efficiency. That is going to be the end of the half. And after 30, the score is the Roswell Destroyers 10, the Salt Lake Mustangs 7. So our scores for Week 9. The Boston Banshees over the Jersey City Wise Guys, 37-14. The Charleston Minutemen put down the Baltimore Marauders, 34-6. The DC Majors do what we expected them to do against the Halifax Ice Dogs, 34-9. In the Central, the Memphis Kings pull the upset on the Oklahoma Warhogs, 21-15. The New Orleans Swamp Crocs continue the Nashville Jacks' catastrophic fall, 23-14. The St. Louis Archers over the Birmingham Red Tails, 29-10. And the Lexington Cavalry working their way up in the Central Division, now tied for first, beating the San Antonio Marshals 38-16. In the West, the Los Angeles Icons over the Dakota Devils 31-27. The Icons now 6-3. The San Diego Silverbacks over the Anchorage Bears, the new low team in the division, 31-17. And the Phoenix Howlers over the Las Vegas Blackjacks, 26-21. So that is the score report for the halftime. That is the halftime report of the first game. Roswell gets the ball first for the second half. 63, that is average field position. One, two, five. Solid offense, no. Punishing defense, no. So that is a regular punt. Oh, we've got, oh, nope. 66, but no electric return for Salt Lake. I believe for a regular punt, 66 is great. It is. So great field position for the Mustangs. Could be what they need to get them back in the lead, or at least to lose their opponent's lead. 1, 2, 6. Reliable offense or meek defense? Meek defense, so that is a punt. Not what they were looking for. but better than an interception or a fumble. Speaking of fumble, we got a possible. Let me just... 3. One of 3 punting team recovers in great field position. So that is going to be a punt. That is going to be a punt fumble or a punt return fumble. Now, for a punt fumble, it's usually for me the idea that the whatever receivers or whatever fast guys are there will be the first one to pop that out. So that is going to be Holt with the forced fumble. I don't need to roll the red because we already know it's great. And 63. That is Olsen with a recovery. So Salt Lake with another chance in great field position. And another 1-2-6. Ow. Roll the exact same thing. And, you know, that's another punt. That's just painful. I gotta admit, I probably would have laughed if that was another punt fumble. But it's not. It is average field position for Roswell. Two, 3, 6. Prolific offense, not Roswell. Porous offense, no. So a punt. And once again, great field position for the Mustangs. The dice keep putting them in that position and then ripping it away. So let's see what goes on now. 1-2-2. Home defense or undisciplined offense? No and no. Stiff defense, not Roswell. So that is a field goal attempt for Ray. .51 and under. And he misses again. He is now 0 for 2. And average field position for Roswell. .455. So once again, great field position for the 3rd time in a row for Salt Lake. And for the 3rd straight time, nothing out of it. Dull offense, no. The quarterback lunges across the goal line for the score. That is a touchdown run, and I don't even need to roll for who it is because it already says quarterback. But that goes into the 4th quarter. So we had a scoreless 3rd quarter. That is Carlos Dansby with the run. Or Keegan Dansby, sorry. Where did I get that name from? The extra point is no good. So the score is 16-7. I mean, no extra point, but another possible fumble. Well, I usually roll the black and white, but we know this time they will keep it, though. Return team recovers after a mad scramble backward. Poor field position. So the dice have now lost faith in Salt Lake, it seems. 3-5-5. Prolific offense. Yes, with the pip. He's through the hole and nobody's going to catch him. That is a touchdown for the Mustangs. We have not seen a touchdown pass this game. See who got the touchdown run? That is Collins again. Let me see the rules on 2-point conversion. Does not say when it can be used. So they're going to go for the 2. Nah. 62 and under is good. Because a 2-pointer would still put them not at a tie. And they would need the same amount of a score, so average field position for Roswell. $145. Great field position, no. Inept defense, no, but they are going to get the field goal attempt. So, $53 and under, it's good. So Hudson with his second. Score is now 19-14. Kickoff puts Salt Lake in average field position. 2-4-5. Is this that one that puts in? Okay. Dynamic offense or soft defense? Dynamic offense. So they go into great. Which will automatically be only one tick. Two, 5, 6. Great field position, yes. Field goal attempt. So, Ray is still looking for his first good field goal. This is his third time up here. No good. Damn. He is now 0 for 3 today. I don't think he'll be here next year, kiddies. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. And that's going to do it. That's going to be the end of the game. As Roswell is efficient, but they're in the lead. There's no reason to... Okay, chill. So that was 9 points for Roswell in the fourth quarter and 7 for Roswell. Final score is the Destroyers. I'm sorry, it was 7 for Salt Lake. The final score, the Roswell Destroyers now 7-2 over the now 4-5 Salt Lake Mustangs, 19-14. Where'd it go? Huh? Oh, good kitty. So I just need a second to put all this down. Until that, while I do that, enjoy the sounds of my cat playing with the top half of one of those little plastic Easter eggs. I just need to write this stuff down for standings. And I gotta say, it's good to hear this cat playing around because she doesn't often. Okay, so the standings. For week 9, the DC Majors are at 8-1 in the East. The Buffalo Outlaws are currently 7-1. The Boston Banshees and I was hoping you'd chase after it. Okay. Majors 8-1, Outlaws 7-2. Oh, 7-1. Banshees and Minutemen 5-4. The Jersey City Wise Guys 4-5. The Cleveland Coyotes 4-4. The Baltimore Marauders 3-6, and the Halifax Ice Dogs 1-8. In the Central, the Oklahoma Warhogs and Lexington Cavalry are both 6-3. St. Louis Archers are 5-4. Nashville Jacks and New Orleans Swamp Crocs are 4-5. Memphis Kings, San Antonio Marshalls, and Birmingham Red Tails are 3-6. Finally, in the West, the Roswell Destroyers, as you've seen, are now 7-2. The Los Angeles Icons are 6-3. The Phoenix Howlers are 5-4. The Dakota Devils, San Diego Silverbacks, and Salt Lake Mustangs are all 4-5. And finally, the Las Vegas Blackjacks and Anchorage Bears are 3-6. All right, so league leaders. Passing touchdowns, Buffalo's Oliver Jansen Wright and Los Angeles Chase Spencer both lead passing touchdowns at 18. DC's Lonnie Jones at 17. And Birmingham's Rashad Morris and Jamison Krasner at 16. Rushing touchdowns. DC's Devin McKnight at 11. Oklahoma's Lucas Alfred 10. Baltimore's Benny Lowell and Charleston's Avery Moss at 9. And Los Angeles' Jermaine Dalby at 8. Receiving touchdowns. Cleveland's Kyle Carsons and Los Angeles' Steven Cerna at 9. DC's Kendall Hurdle at 7 and a 7-way tie with 6. Interceptions. The lowest 3 are all tied with 3. Halifax Ellis Rathburn, DC's Lonnie Jones, and Buffalo's Oliver Jansen Wright. Now for the 3 worst. Most interceptions is Boston's Nolan Rhodes with 14, Los Angeles Chase Spencer with 13, and Las Vegas Dale Cardell with 12. Interceptions for defenders. DC's Edward Ashley, Halifax Keith Neal, and Lexington's Carl Jackson with 7. DC's Joseph Bobon with 6, and a 3-way tie for 5. Forced fumbles. DC's Perry Griggs with 6. Dakota's Joshua Rivera with 5. And Birmingham's Shane Hogue, Buffalo's Craig Ragland, and Oklahoma's Alex Screet with 4. Fumble recoveries. Birmingham's Edward Bagley and Buffalo's Roman Ochoa with 5. Dakota's Joshua Rivera, Los Angeles' Oliver Ford, Oklahoma's Alex Screet, and San Antonio's Giorgio Julianos with 4. Field goals for points. Baltimore's Stephen Fleming, 19 of 22. Oklahoma's Marvin Byrne, 18 of 24. Dakota's Mark Dunton, 17 of 17. Charleston's Wes Fuller, 17 of 18. And Buffalo's Zach Poole and Phoenix Chris Witt, 17 of 19. In percentage, Dakota's Mark Dunton, 100%, 17 of 17. Anchorage Jamie Kelly at 100, 14 of 14. Charleston's Wes Fuller, 94.4%, 17 of 18. Boston's Isaiah Adams with 93.7%, 15 of 16. And Buffalo's Zach Poole and Phoenix Chris Witt at 89.4, that's 17 of 19. Points for most, DC with 327, least San Antonio with 112. Points allowed, least is Oklahoma with 144, and most is Halifax with 326. And finally, point differentials. Highest is DC with plus 127, and the lowest is Halifax with minus 151. And that is the Between Games report. Coming up is Cleveland, the 4-4 Cleveland Coyotes, and the 7-1 Buffalo Outlaws. Let me just get that taken care of real quick. Welcome to Western New York. 1 second. Okay. So let's go with the coin flip, and Buffalo will start. And that is average field position for the Outlaws. So, Buffalo offense is semi-dynamic, semi-solid, reliable, secure, and semi-inefficient. Cleveland defense is semi-staunch and undisciplined. One, two, six. Look at that. Reliable offense or meek defense. Buffalo offense is reliable, so that will be a punt. Average field position for Cleveland. Two, three, four. Dull offense, no. Staunch defense, no. That is a touchdown pass for the Coyotes. That is Bryce Carlton. To Austin Griffin. All right, 64 and under for the extra point. Yep. And the Coyotes lead the Outlaws 7-0. Oh, forgot to mention, Cleveland offense is semi-reliable, inefficient, and semi-disciplined. Buffalo defense is active and undisciplined. Average field position for Buffalo. One, four, six. Staunch defense. Semi, no. Ball carrier stiff arms a linebacker and sprints to the end zone. Buffalo gets a touchdown of their own. Just need to find out who it is. 26, that's Jacoby Morgan. And Zach Poole to tie it up. Needs 62 and under. And he's got it. And we are all tied up. Average for Cleveland. One, four, six. So this will be the end of the first quarter. Staunch defense, no. So that will be a touchdown run for Cleveland. That run by Preston Barnes. And the extra point. Good. And at the end of the first, the score is the Cleveland Coyotes 14, the Buffalo Outlaws 7. Average field position to start the second quarter. Three, five, six. Disciplined offense. No. Reliable offense or meek defense. Reliable offense. So that will be a punt out of the hands of Tyron Sir. Poor field position for Cleveland. Three, 5, 6. Disciplined offense? No. Reliable offense or meek defense? Gotta re-roll this because it was already not disciplined. Not reliable. So that is an interception. And this game is going by pretty fast. Black and white for the catch and red for the return. 52, that is Simon Glover with the interception. And in great field position. One, 4, 6. Staunch defense, no. The pip says no. So another touchdown run for Buffalo. Runner this time is Mitch Barrett. Extra point, 62 and under, is good. We are knotted up again at 14. Average field position for Cleveland. And any more than, the red is any higher than 1, that's halftime. And it's halftime. So, week 10 matchups. Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore Marauders and the Cleveland Coyotes. Halifax Ice Dogs at Boston Banshees. Jersey City Wise Guys at the Charleston Minutemen. And the Buffalo Outlaws at DC Majors, which will be televised. In the Central, New Orleans Swamp Crocs at the Lexington Minutemen. Or Lexington, why do I keep doing that? I just said Minutemen. Lexington Cavalry. Birmingham Red Tails and Nashville Jacks. The San Antonio Marshals and the Oklahoma Warhogs. The Memphis Kings and the St. Louis Archers. And finally in the West, the San Diego Silverbacks at the Las Vegas Blackjacks. Salt Lake Mustangs and the Dakota Devils. The Roswell Destroyers and the Anchorage Bears. And finally the Phoenix Howlers at the Los Angeles Icons. So I will pick a few games to put in a poll for that first game. Cleveland gets the ball first for second half. Score 14-14 coming into the third quarter. Also, one more thing. Playoffs. We said we were going to start talking about them this week. Not so much who has a better chance than others of going or not, but what they are this year. Because 3 divisions is a set of 2. We're not doing it the same way we did the last 2 years. It's going to be 13 teams. Top 3 teams get a bye week. The rest are wild cards. But I'm going to put up another poll on the Facebook group as to whether I'm thinking of having a special rule where if the highest, you know what, I can't word it right now, just out of it. So let's get started with the second half. All right, so average field position for Cleveland. $116. Poor field position, no. Inept defense, Buffalo does not have it. So that is a coffin corner punt. Average for Buffalo. Nope. Average or poor? It's just poor. Glad I looked at that. Another 6. Getting a lot of 4s this time, unlike the other die, we're getting a lot of 1s. So 156, poor field position, yes. So that is going to be a punt for Buffalo. Already 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And poor field position for Cleveland. I believe 33 is the line. Yes. $144. Poor field position, yes. Offense can't recover from first down holding call, so that will be a 1 act. No, that will not be a 1. Wait, hold up. Yes, that is 1 from holding call and backed up punt. So regardless of what that 4, got the red dot, so $64. That is definitely got to be great field position unless there's something else. Yeah. So the Outlaws in great field position. 156. Poor field position, no. Great field position, the kicker trots out for the attempt. So that is Zach Poole looking for field goal number 18. 55 and under. And he's got it. And the Outlaws have taken the lead for the first time in this game. Score is 17-14. Average field position for Cleveland. $144. This time it's average, so undisciplined offense, no. So a field goal attempt, 54 and under for Ali Gogol to tie it up. And he's got it. To end the third quarter. We are tied at 17. So kickoff. Buffalo starting in the fourth quarter in average field position. "4-4-5. Erratic offense, no. Disciplined defense, no. So another field goal attempt for Poole. And he doesn't get this one. So Poole is 1 for 2. And average field position for the Coyotes. "1, 3, 4. Poor field position, no. Inept defense, no. So a field goal attempt, and Gogol is going to try to put the team back on top. 54 and under. And he misses too. So, ow. So he is also 1 for 2, and Buffalo is in average field position. Somebody needs to tell these guys that when you play horse, be it basketball or for kickers, that when the other guy misses, it's not part of the shot. Twos. We've got an unusual result. Table B. 13. Under pressure, QB heaves a desperation pass, and it's caught. Touchdown, Outlaws. So that is a touchdown pass for Jensen Wright. Who now has 19 on the season. And that is 62, so it's Jacoby Morgan now with both a rushing and receiving touchdown today. Extra point, 62 and under, and it's good. So the score is now 24-17 Outlaws, halfway through the fourth quarter. Cleveland is not electric, so that's going to be great field position for the Coyotes. Two, 3, 6. Prolific offense, no. Porous offense, no. So that is a punt. Oof. Actually, what they're going to do is they're going to go for the fourth down. Two, home defense, yes, so they will not get it. Average field position after the fourth fail. So turnover on downs. average field position with 2:30 left. And that's going to do it, but let's see. 2-4-6, dull offense, no. And that is a touchdown run. The runner turns a corner and has nothing but daylight. So Buffalo is going to make sure. 66, that is Khalil Osborne. His first score of the season. Extra point by Poole is good. And that, with that, the season is half over. Wow. Final score is 31-17 Buffalo. So it will be 8-1 versus 8-1. Since we don't do ties, someone is going to be 8-2 next week, and somebody's going to be 9-1. So, like I said, this has been the first half of the 2025 Table Football League season. I've enjoyed playing it through so far. This Table Football League is played on Al Wilson's Fast Drive Football. Free downloads on 3d6gaming.com or 3d6-gaming.com. Table Football League is not on the files, but when the season is over, I'll probably put up files. I'll probably put up pictures of the cards. There 3d6-gaming has some nonprofit organizations, some charities. If you wouldn't mind putting in like donation, that'd be great. This has been Mike from Lake Effect Games. We will see you in week 10. Till then, have a great night.